Hey guys, so I decided against doing an actual video this week just because of everything that's been going on and stuff, so figured it'd be best to not and stuff. So we're going to try to make it with what we can do. So without further ado, here we go. As the afternoon turned into evening on June 30th, Buford's cavalry continued to make preparations for the next morning. Buford was well aware of the coming threat, posting vedettes stretching from the Fairfield area over the Knoxland Ridge, up north to the Cobean Farm, and then east to close to the York Road area. Thanks to information from a captured escort from Ewell's Corps near Hylersburg, Buford learned that Rhodes' division was coming down from the north and used this information to deploy his vedettes. Buford knew the tactical advantage the hills south of town held and decided to make a stand to delay the Confederate advance to allow the infantry to arrive. Buford sent his dispatches out notifying him of his position and intentions, but Meade wouldn't know this for a while. He was out of telegraph communication, but had a very good idea where Lee was, and this gave Meade the decision to move his left wing of the 1st and 11th Corps north to the Gettysburg area the next day. To support these two corps would be Sickles' 3rd Corps, which would be stationed near the Pennsylvania border. The other 4 infantry corps were somewhat spread out, but close enough to be in range should the Army make contact. Meade kept his backup plan in place with his July 1st plans to be an advance to Gettysburg, 2 taverns, and Hanover, which 2 taverns would take the 12th Corps, Hanover would take the 5th Corps, and the 6th Corps would actually be around Manchester, while his remaining corps would stay near Meade's headquarters in Maryland. But his backup plan consisted of a withdrawal just in case if Gettysburg actually seemed unfavorable as far as terrain was concerned. His defensive line consisted of a defensive stand along the Pipe Creek area around Taneytown and Uniontown. Meanwhile, west of Gettysburg, the bulk of the Army of Northern Virginia was camped between Cashtown and Chambersburg. A.P. Hill's Corps was in the lead with Heath's division in front at Cashtown, with the other 2 divisions under Pender and Anderson just over the mountain past Cashtown Gap. Behind them was Longstreet's Corps, who some could consider to be Lee's heavy hitters. Among Longstreet's Corps would be the divisions of John Bell Hood and Lafayette McLaws in the lead, near around the Fayetteville area. And then all the way in the back at the rear of the Army was the Virginia division of George E. Pickett. Above the main force in the Scotland area was Edward Johnson's division, who was part of Ewell's Corps, after turning back from their advance towards Carlisle due to General Lee's order to concentrate. He was actually supposed to support Rhodes in their advance on Harrisburg, but Lee decided to concentrate the Army once he found out on the 28th of June that the Army was starting to move in, Meade took command, and whatnot. So, Lee Ewell's Corps was actually split up. Well, it was starting to concentrate a little bit, but it was still split. North of Gettysburg, camped near Hylersburg and Biglerville area, was Rhodes and Early's divisions, prepped to move south to Gettysburg the next day. This would actually have the entire Army concentrate on July 1st. Further east and completely isolated from the Army was the 6,000 horsemen of Jeb Stuart's cavalry, who after sustaining around 120 casualties in the Battle of Hanover, moved to Jefferson before riding north to Dover. Stuart was desperately trying to link up with the Army, but by the time his exhausted forces reached Dover early on July 1st, General Early had already been gone. Back at Cashtown, Heath's division was camped for the evening. General Pettigrew correctly reported a formation of cavalry that morning. His Corps Commander A.P. Hill was not really convinced, for the latest information they had, provided by Longstreet spy Henry Thomas Harrison, was that the Union Army was still in Maryland. What they didn't know was Meade was closing in fast. Hill was convinced that what was in Gettysburg was only a militia battalion. Hill ordered a reconnaissance in force for the next day to Gettysburg, consisting of the 2 brigades of Heath's division with General James Archer's brigade in the lead, followed by the brigade of Joseph Davis, the nephew of Confederate President Jefferson Davis. Preparations began that morning. Soldiers were getting ready to move out, and at 5 a.m. the 2 brigades stepped off from Cashtown. As they came down the Chambersburg Pike, they came upon the area where the 26th Pennsylvania Militia attempted to hold off Gordon's brigade days earlier. As they approached the bridge crossing the Marsh Creek area, about 600 yards to the east, at the Whistler House, Lieutenant Marcellus Jones of the 8th Illinois Cavalry rested a carbine on a fence post and fired a shot at an officer on a gray horse. The Battle of Gettysburg had begun. But that is a story for another time.